Hello everybody, welcome to Bitcoin Daily, 9 a.m. Central European time on the dollar. We do the show every day, Monday to Friday, because we gotta know what's happening in Bitcoin, altcoins and everything else. And of course, guys, the nobody knows what the F is happening pattern is playing, in front of our eyes. How this will actually play out or not towards upside down. It's just like going, in straight line sideways, and it's really hard to, believe anything else beside, manipulation. How can price go so hard sideways? I don't know. But, we already know that, manipulation is, reality of the markets. If there was no manipulation, I always say, if there was zero manipulation and just me and you were trading, you would find a way how to manipulate me and the price so you get, at the top of the food chain, right? So, manipulation is, normal. But it is quite sideways. I mean, the price has been, literally going, up and down between two levels up here. There have been weeks up here, 37%. Beside these two levels up here, it's been, 1.5% up and down. If you eliminate this week and this week up here. So the movement haven't been the best kind of for trading. Some altcoins might have, done a little bit better than this, this pattern over here. So we're gonna check that out. We're also gonna look at a little bit, some kind of, theories on what might not happen. And there's that. How's everybody in chat doing with the center plan? What's up? How you doing, man? Roshten Army, let's go. 25 SU Deep, hello bro. How you doing, man? Fumbles, yo. Malaran is in the chat. Diamond hands. The set plan says, I'm ready to go down. How about you guys? Bullish or bearish? The question is, if you're ready to go down, that means you sold. Did you sell? Did you sell? I want to know that. Christo, how you doing, man? Thomas, Earl, good morning all. Nobody knows what the F is happening pattern. Exactly. Anne-Marie, good morning. How you doing? Steven, Bitcoin trap to the moon, to the moon. We got a moon coming in 2 days, and every night, for the past week, I've been looking up at the sky and seeing the moon, and it's just getting bigger and bigger and nicer and more brighter. And I believe strongly that something's gonna happen in next 2 days. Now we are getting the full moon very, very soon. This is the new moon. This is the new moon. These are the dump moons, and this you can see up here. This dump moon didn't actually dump us that much. Actually, on the new moon, on the full moon, we actually went a little bit back then towards upside. So technically, we went from the moon to the new moon up here. We went towards upside. From the new moon to the full moon, went a little bit down over here. From the new moon to the full moon up here, we are technically going down, and over here from the full moon to the new moon, we went actually pretty much up. New moon towards the full moon up here, we went a little bit down. So the only thing we can expect right now is that by the time the next full, new moon comes up here, by the time the next new moon come up here, doesn't matter how far we down, we're gonna end, higher than previously. So that's the theory behind this. Even though you might actually on the new moon go down, you still end up higher than previously when the new moon, when the full moon ends. So when the full moon comes, you might go down, but you still end up higher than the previous, start where you started. So that's how these, moon analysis work. So whether that's gonna be the case or not, we don't know. But by the time, the next 2 weeks are done, we should be higher than wherever we are on the full moon next 2 days. Depends on where we are in the next 2 days. I don't know where we're gonna be, but we're gonna be higher than that level, right? So when the new full moon comes, we're gonna see that, eventually 2 weeks later, we're gonna be higher than that. Will that actually play out or not? We don't know. August is an important month, give or take August, and we are not quite there yet, so we're not going to talk about the dates just now. So there is that. The most important pattern up here that's happening on the chart is, of course, down here on the that right now after this dump towards downside, and it's really hard to figure out what's gonna happen up here. I've been drawing some kind of triangles up here. Mlan has been drawing some kind of channels. People have been drawing some kind of some kind of humans up here, some kind of guy, holding his schlong. I don't know. I'm not really good at drawing. you get the picture. You get the picture, right? You get the picture. So what kind of pattern this is a little bit, discussable. discussable. I've been you know, trying to draw you know, nice trend lines up here. That this seems to be like some kind of breakout towards the upside, right? We don't know yet. Nothing is set in stone just yet. There is this very nice line up here, give or take, over here, but it could be a little bit, you know, high up here, so it forms a nice triangle up here. Could be a triangle that we broke towards the upside. Right now we are having some kind of, you know, double retest up here on the chart. You know, if we had already a retest and we didn't do this move up here, this actually looks very, very weak. So could we break on downside up here? I mean, this is the 1 hourly chart, so you know, a lot of things can happen. I draw a triangle channel, Yeah, I saw that. You drew a triangle check. We're gonna check that out. But you know, and these lines, you know, of course, can be moved. So if you get some kind of support line, you know, if you find some kind of support line, you can just move towards the upside, right? You get a channel. If you get some kind of resistance line, just move. You can just move it towards the downside down here, and you get, you know, double channel up here. It's really easy. But the important thing when it comes to channels is finding the support line. And once you find the support line or resistance line, you can make channel out of that. It really doesn't matter, as long as the line is a legit line, right? You can find some kind of channel. And these are, I believe these are the you know, I believe these are, or similar. I think he has something like this over here, a little bit different channels, but it really doesn't matter. You can draw the channels, right? You can draw the channels, and this one up here looks nice, and this one down here looks nice. But there is one line that actually looks a little bit nicer, and it goes something like this over here. And not exactly there. But the reason this line is nice is because on the bigger time frames it does kind of looks nice. So if you look at it on daily time frame, of course everybody's looking at this line on the bottom side over here, and we are technically, you know, holding the support. We have a new channel. Look in the group. Like, check first the channel of TLI trade. This should be in the chat, man. I feel that everybody's posting all over the place because they don't know in which channel they are. So I think we need to do something about that. I don't know how, but you know, over here, TLI trades. You're in the wrong channel, man. This is the channel. We need to be in the chat and talk about in the chat, so everybody in the chat. You know, this other stuff is just, you know, secondary. But yeah, new channel up here. This is Bitcoin 5 minute. Yeah, this is 5 minute channel. It's a very tight channel, so you know, there is that. But this bigger one is more interesting up here. Now that's trading. Okay, it's trading. It's cool. So let's look at the chart from. It's a little tight up here. From goes to bottom to this one. Yeah, this one actually looks nice because it hits this bottom down here and this bottom over here. And then this stops up here and this stop up here. So it's nice channel. So you got a support and resistance levels. So looking at, you know, from the top, you know, but why don't you draw this line from the bottom towards the upside? Why don't you give hope to the people? Why do you have to be so bearish, fudding the market? Of course, if you continue fudding, of course it's gonna go down. Of course it's gonna go down. You know, we influencers, me and you, Mladen, we influencers, we need to, you know, give people hope. Because if we fud, it goes down. Unless you want it to go down, because, you know, there is that. So the channel he is drawing up here is something like this up here. Yeah, this actually looks a lot nicer than whatever I drew. Is you know, let's go a little bit back and see where I draw this. Yeah, so this line down here looks more legit up here, give or take, right? So this line. Yeah, it might be that. It might be that. If this is the case, that this is the pattern over here, this is a bear flag, of course, again, and again the bear flag goes from the top to the bottom, of course, again, and again we have this target at 21.7, 21.8. It's actually below these levels up here, which I believe that if we go down, I think we're gonna go below these levels, and the reason for that is, you know, to pick up liquidity, you know, with whatever it's below these levels down here. So this could be the case. Whether this is a bear flag and it's gonna play out, you know, it kind of depends. It kind of depends. But we've been going a little bit sideways right now. We're gonna, you know, looking just wick down for the next weekly candle. I mean, it might be that, I've also been looking at the weekly candles, and as you can see up here, of course, we got a wick right now. But oftentimes, we often say, because oftentimes when you get a first candle up here, if the next candle is gonna be green, the first thing you're gonna see is, you know, the creation of the wick up here. You know, sometimes it's a very tiny wick, sometimes a big wick, doesn't matter, but you know, it's first wick, and then you go towards upside, then you get a green candle, right? So if you look at it on the if you look at it like this over here, right now we got a red candle. So it is very probable right now that you know, at least the next, you know, after Sunday, the move will be down from wherever we close. You know, how big move towards downside we're gonna have, that kind of depends. You can have a big wick down here below these lows over here. Below these lows down here, you know, 20k or something like that, and then, you know, move towards upside or whatnot, right? You can also continue dumping down. We're gonna look at that, but it's often the case that, you know, after a red candle, or after a candle close, should I say, after a candle close, you often get this first move towards downside, right? You often get this first move towards downside. So there is that. It's interesting to notice that, because oftentimes it can give you some kind of... Now on the daily time frame, what's happening is actually quite interesting, because we have this big you know, red candle towards downside, then we have this doji in the middle. So people should assume that this can actually, you know, create this, you know, morning doji star pattern up here towards upside. What people fail to understand is that sometimes these two dojis, you know, together makes also the morning doji star pattern, because these two dojis is the same as one doji over here, because if you go to two-day time frame, you still get this doji in the middle of over here, right? So we can still have on a 2-day time frame a doji in the middle up here, and then go towards upside. It can still be morning doji star pattern up here being creating right now. So we gotta watch for that, but we are not quite there yet. But it is going, you know, nicely sideways. So, you know, assuming that this is gonna continue for another, you know, how many candles up here? Sunday, today's Sunday actually up here. So only over here. So if you can actually go all the way up here, tonight. Is it 14 hours left? Yeah. Is if you can go in this, you know, direction up here, you know, all the way up here. What's gonna happen on the daily time frame? It's, you know, only a couple of more, you know, 4-hourly candles. What's gonna happen on the 2-day time frame? You're getting this doji. On the daily time frame, you're getting this double doji down here. And there's still, you know, on Monday, this or after the daily close on Sunday, or weekly close on Sunday, the first move can still be towards downside and then move towards the upside. We don't have to go all the way down there, but right now there is so much bearishness. Now we are still keeping the support level, and everybody's looking at this support level, but I've been, you know, looking at this support level over here, where we already are breaking towards downside. Now why is that the case over here? Is because this over here was some kind of bottom over here. This was just a wick. So this is bottom, this is the pivot point up here, this is just continuation of the pivot point. So this candle over here is the pivot point, not over here, and this is where we actually continue towards upside. So I'm using this candle up here to just see it, and you can see up here we are actually below those levels. Now the move on downside does look like this pivot point down here is exact, but if you go to the 4-hourly time frame, you'll see this is just, you know, one slight candle. Now there are actually two slight candles over here, extended candles up here, and we can actually adjust a little bit up here towards downside up here, and then you got this candle down here, and it does kind of seem that you know, it is hitting these you know, wicks on the spot up here. And what you're gonna notice here that we came below these levels, we close below these levels, and we are failing to get back above those levels, back above those levels. Now this is, you know, this 4-hourly time frame, but the time frame is really stretched. It's really stretched. I mean, there is a whole bunch of you know, there's a whole bunch of action been going on in between these levels. So, you know, assuming that this has something to do with you know, exact points on the line, I'm a little bit unsure about that. But if you do look at it on the daily time frame up here, it does look like we are already below it, and already looking, you know, a little bit more bearish than we should actually be looking at. So the first thing we have to understand is, number one, everything looks strongly bearish. and I think this over here is kind of hoping, giving people that we are above the support, when I don't think we are above the support anymore. I think we are below the support, and we have been below the support right now for this is the second day below the support. Now, of course, just going below the support, you know, and bouncing off of those levels, that's gonna be nice, but this cannot dump on the downside, because if it is dump on the downside, it's pretty much game over, right? But right now we are technically below the support. The fact that we can actually hold it up here is actually very nice, because then it can come right back above the support again. It's even, you know, these kind of things happen all the time. Not this line up here. Might have been this line up here, give or take. Where is it? Something like this. Yeah, maybe this stops as well. Top stops, and you can see also this other line up here is below the support. So there are definitely a couple other lines that are showing that we are below the support. So I wouldn't be 100% sure that we are above the support and that we are still, you know, oh, it's gonna bounce, because this can definitely try to bounce up here and then go towards downside. There is a very nice channel that we have on the chart over here right now, which is very, very important. It looks like it's this channel, but this doesn't seem to be the channel. The better channel is down here, and you can see up here. Let me just see up here. Yeah, the better channel is up here, over here, because it does hit nice these on the daily time frame, these bottoms up here. You see, it is quite nice channel. So I believe this is the actually correct channel. It's not that steep. So it's kind of both good and bad, because if it was very, very steep, it would be very good, because then we would have a bigger chance to break towards the upside. But you know, it would also be dumping a lot faster. Right now we are not dumping that fast over here, and we are still above the some kind of midline over here. Sorry, below the midline up here. But we are holding the support. We are holding the support level, and right now we're trying to get back up here, up there again. If we start getting rejected by this, you know, midline up here, you gotta watch for, you know, another move towards downside. I mean, this is definitely probably. I mean, as long as we go inside this channel towards downside, there is no problem. Like, you can go down to 50k and whatever. I mean, there is no problem. The big problem is when the weakness comes in the chart, right? When price that's already showing some kind of pullback downtrend increases that speed towards downside, right? And that happens when you have a channel and then you break the channel towards downside. Now that will be actually very bad, especially if you fail to get right back inside the channel, right? Because if you fail that, if you go outside of the channel, you increase the speed towards downside, which is actually quite very, very hugely bearish. Oftentimes those are the you know, places where people, you know, add to their positions. They become super bearish. This is, you know, dropping towards downside, so forth. The same way when you have some kind of rising channel and you break that rising channel towards upside, oftentimes up here people, you know, add to their position and, you know, push the price towards upside, right? So they add on the breakout towards upside, because this move, you know, uptrend move breaking the uptrend resistance line is stupidly bullish, right? The same way how this is, you know, stupidly bearish up here towards downside. The only thing to notice, if you do break this you know, channel on the downside, is that there will be a new channel that's gonna be very, very steep, you know. So this is not, you know, very sustainable in a long periods of time, unless you are in some kind of a, you know, you know, capitulation phase or something like that, which I don't think we are in some kind of capitulation phase or anything like that right now. So the big moves towards downside are not yet on the menu. The big moves towards downside are not yet on the menu. But I do definitely look at this channel over here and the break on this channel on the downside. Now we still have, you know, potentials to, you know, move back down here again towards the channel. I mean, as we can definitely go, you know, very far down, as long as we are in channel, and still everything is gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Now again, this line needs to be respected, guys. This line needs to be assumed broken, and I don't believe that this is the correct line. I mean, we are indeed you know, holding the levels up here, but I think this is the line up here. This line. There is another line up here, because this week up here at the top. Let's go to the 2-day time frame. Can you see it better? No. It's been something like this. Where was it? I made so many lines like this trend looks like it's already broken, right? From the bottom towards the tops up here, yeah. So this option over here, like over here, we broke towards us, right back up again, and then broke on the downside. This was a big dump, so we need to assume that there is some kind of line up here that's very, very important. And actually, two lines up here that are very, very important. but the dump started not down here, it started all the way up here. So I think this line up here is very interesting, and we already kind of broke this trend over here towards the upside. So right now the only thing that's holding us up is you know, slow downtrending channel. We're trying to find the support levels, and we are trying to bounce. Now we got a couple of, you know, real support levels on the chart. Real support levels, that's the bottom down here, that's this stop up here, and we got also the moving averages. Where are the moving averages? Up here on the chart, and we also got a 10 moving average right down here below us. These are the first, very first support levels: 21.8, 21.7, 21.6. Now if you go below that, we are looking at, you know, 20.9 down here. And after that, it's the 200 moving average down here, 200 moving average. So as you can see up here, we are at a very strong level of support right here at around 21.6, 21.7, 21.8, give or take. You know, all the way from 21.6 to 21.8. I mean, it's a very strong level of support, and we didn't come all the way down to that level, and that's fine. We don't have to come all the way down to the level, that level, because this candle, this 10 moving average over here, right now is at last week it was at 21,000. Right now it's at 21.6, and next week it's gonna be at maybe 22k or something like that up here, right? 22k, somewhere up here, right? So this 10 moving average is gonna move over here towards the upside, and as long as we, you know, next week go down to maybe some kind of 20k levels over here, we can definitely bounce off of that line. We don't even have to bounce, we can just, you know, do this up here. You know, you don't have to touch the line. In a strong option, you don't have to touch the 10 moving average, but the 10 moving average is important on the weekly time frame. If you go back in time, where is it? Up here. When we had this first move towards the upside up here, right? When we had this first move towards the upside, you're gonna see that the 10 moving average up here, you know, we came close to the 10 moving average, but we didn't touch the 10 moving average until we actually broke the trend, right? So the move towards the upside up here, it was, you know, going very fast towards the upside without touching the 10 moving average. Let's see this on the in 2014. How did this play out in 2014 as well? All the way down at the bottom up here. Yeah, so this bottom down here, over here, I was looking at, right, where we started going to 10 moving average, but we didn't. But when you hit the 10 moving average, you go into consolidation phase, right? And then you might be looking at some kind of 20 moving average to hold the support, and as you can see up here in, you know, 2014, the 20 moving average did hold the support, and so forth, so forth. But if you do fail up here, if this is the case that, you know, this right now that we are over here, when it comes to this pattern that's playing out on the 2014 bottom, if this is the case, we will go, you know, break through eventually through the 10 moving average, go all the way down, get everybody, you know, liquidated, and then go towards the upside. So a little bit shaky, you know, shaky, but I would assume that, you know, right now, because nothing is indicating that it's not going to be the case, that, you know, the 10 moving average will hold and we will bounce off of the 10 moving average. So I'm looking for that, and, you know, it's nice support level, Which lines are, yeah, it's just some other lines that I've been drawing a lot of lines. Let's see up here. So yeah, I think the trend is broken 2 times. What we are doing right now, it's important to note right now that what we are trying to do right now is we are trying to find support levels, right? We are trying to find support. The trend got broken. First time the trend got broken was up here somewhere, right? I would say maybe a little bit more up here, something like this, give or take, because this red candle doesn't matter. Something like this up here. Let's draw the trends, guys. Let's draw the trends. Let's draw the trends on this part over here. So when we start moving towards upside, we had a very, you know, very speedy move towards upside, and we broke the trend over here. Then the next one up here, you know, we started losing the pace up here. We broke the trend as well, and then on this move up here, we went down, create a support here. So we got a 2 very legit levels of support. This is the first one, and this is the second one right over here. And then we pull back and created this support level up here, which right now it does look like it's breaking. Like, you can draw something like this over here, you can draw it a little bit above it, but it does look like it's breaking over here. Maybe you can adjust the line a little bit up here towards the upside. You know, if you are not being very precise, you can say that, you know, we are still on the support level. So I would say that this is already broken. I would say this is already broken. And then of course there is this line up here, and then you got nothing else, I think, below up here, because you cannot, you know, you can use the tops up here, but it has been slowly curving towards downside, slowly curving towards downside over here. And right now we are you know, holding this support level. So if these support levels right now should, you know, for whatever reason break on the downside, then we come into, you know, where are the support levels. And it's just like we just drew right now, the most important support levels over here. Let's go a little bit back more in time. We got a whole bunch of support levels up here at, you know, between 21 and 26. So if you do go down, I would be looking at those levels, but I'm still assuming the support is broken. On the way towards the upside, the 20 moving average, 10 moving average, whatnot, you know, up here, especially if you look at a 4-hourly time frame. Let's pop rest of the moving averages up here. We can have some kind of pump up to the, you know, the 200 moving average, 50, stuff like that, something like that, and then go towards the downside stuff. You know, don't know. Nobody knows what the F this pattern is at the bottom, but the channel is nice. The supports are nice. Where is the channel up here? The channel is nice. So, you know, we could definitely do another one of these moves up here right now into this area over here. Maybe even, you know, a week below it down here, and then, you know, push back outside of the channel. But right now we are in the middle channel, so, you know, no play. Move up is more likely, but we may make a wick down. There is a strong support, definitely. These downtrending channels are very hard to, you know, continue breaking towards downside, because to break downside you have to be so bearish that you know, you do that. And I don't think we are so bearish. But if we do break on the downside, you know, I'm gonna become super bearish. And then once it broke towards downside, this move towards downside is gonna go very, very fast. And once this move toward downside is done, you know, it's pump time. On the other hand, DXY did break this rising wedge towards downside, fake out, tap, double tap onto the top up here, failed to get it back up, went for the second time outside of channel downside, retested that, moved bearish engulfing candle below the support lines, and right now it's looking to continue towards downside. Now, I do not like, you know, to look at the DXY versus Bitcoin, you know, correlation or inverse correlation or whatever, right? The problem is that sometimes the DXY will pump, the Bitcoin will pump, the DXY will dump, the Bitcoin will dump. Now, if you just assume that, you know, by some kind of logic that Bitcoin will be inversely correlated, then we gotta assume that this thing is gonna dump like, you know, big time during the next week, because if it goes back below the support over here, it will be a big dump. And that big dump might actually give us a rally. Now, it is already giving rallies in the stock market. The stock market are doing well. They are bouncing off of the support levels so far. Now, important thing to notice, they are bouncing from the support levels very fast to the resistance lines as well, which is not actually, you know, which is not very desirable, but, you know, it can actually continue bouncing. But they are definitely bouncing more than Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, contrary to everything else, is dumping while everything else is pumping. So people are saying on Twitter, you know, people wanted the, you know, that connection between the stock market and, you know, decoupling. People wanted decoupling between Bitcoin and the stock market. And right now you got the decoupling, but nobody likes it. Green candles on the 6-hour time frames. What are the green candles on the 6-hour time frames? Let's see up here. 6 weeks. No, 6 weeks is too much. I don't know what you're talking about. Morning, Johnny, how you doing? Can you check the group? I can always check the group, man. It only depends where. Yeah, but you're using the bottom week over here. This on the 4-hour, 12-hour, yeah, 12-hour. Okay, it's the same channel, I think. Isn't it the same channel? This is 12-hour hourly Binance as well. It's a double channel. I feel like, where did you? Like there's a whole bunch of wicks up here that you know, you are just disregarding. You know, we have, that's why it's called the art of technicals, because you know, drawing the lines, it's you know who draws better, you know, not better lines, but you know, I don't like that these wicks are up here, you know, cut that much, because they do seem important though. They do seem important. Now let's go to 12. Let's go to this chart up here for whatever reason, and remove the lines up here for a second. And let's try to make the channel up here, but we're gonna do it like on 12 hourly up here. I think this up here looks more legit up here, right? And then you got this channel up here where we that I've been looking at, right? That you know, we went below, then support, and then the reason why we had this big dump is because we actually fell out of the channel over here. So we broke this towards upside retest, because it does look nice. It does look very nice. I mean, the midline up here, you know, looks very, very decent. Even this move up here looks decent up here. Tried to hold the support a couple of times, broke that, up, and then broke down up here towards downside right now. So the only thing we can assume is that this channel up here, right, it's, you know, going double the distance down here, right, towards downside, so over here. So we can have another small tap up here towards the line up here, like we saw also in the channel, to the downside and then towards the upside. But when it comes to this 12, you know, let's go first on the daily time frame and draw my channel up here. Let's do it from the bottom, because bottom is actually quite legit. There we go, and go to 12 hour. Yeah, so yours is a little bit more steep, isn't it? Yeah, using top wick up here. Something like this up here. Then bottom down there. But if you, I don't know. If using the red wicks up here, it might be better. I don't know. It's such a small distance. I mean, I'm trying also to see, you know, whether this midline is actually, you know, like over here with the midline would be nice, but then, you know, it doesn't confirm anything. Let's go a little bit back. Now, we have wicks above, but we never close below. Don't mix green. Check your group. Don't mix green with red. I use Lin Reg candles. Lin Reg candles. Yeah, let's ask Lin Reg, linear regression channel. Yeah, but we already know this, man. We already know this channel. Give us something we don't know. Let's zoom in. Let's go to 4 hourly time frames. There we go. Okay, discussion is done, guys. Discussion is done. We got the channel. Discussion is done. The indicator is showing the channel. You can see all the numbers 00837691641. Yeah, it knows what it's doing. You know, you don't want to argue with math. Okay, this is math. It found the channel. We're done. There is no more discussion. This is the channel. Right now, the channel says we are, you know, hit the bottoms. We are going towards up here. We can drop down a little bit more, or we can go up there. There is this resistance, there is support. You know, short it, long it. Short it, get wrecked, because we're going towards upside. You know, volume goes down, another fake out down and to the moon. Volume should go down in volume should go down in consolidation phases. So this looked like a, you know, consolidation phase up here for whatever reason, and this move up here broke towards up, but still going towards downside. So this entire move towards upside, downside over here, does seem that, you know, we are losing volume, which is actually very bullish. I mean, you could say that, you know, losing volume consolidation phases, and you know, and anything can be consolidation phase, but you know, losing volume in some kind of downtrend over here, you know, it actually might be good. We might actually do another move towards that downside, because this move up, you have to understand, this move is not so bad, guys. This move is not so bad, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why, because this is very important. Now follow. I don't think you're gonna read this in the book. I mean, you're probably gonna read this in some kind of book. You know, there's probably other people who figure this out. This move is not so bad, guys. This move is literally not so bad, Do you know why? Because we dumped from the top of the channel to the bottom of the channel. That is normal move. It is some kind of, you know, fear move towards the downside, but we, you know, we went up to the top of the channel and just dumped the distance back to the bottom of the channel, which is, yeah, we did it very quickly, but it's not very bad move. The bad move is when you have this kind of, you know, move, you know, towards downside outside of the channel or something like that. Now that's very, very bad. So, you know, although we did dump up here and we might continue dumping a little bit more over here, you know, it doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look that bad. Long-time patterns look bullish. So, of course, if you're going to talk about long-term patterns up here, a weekly time frame up here, I don't like lean rake, but, you know, whatever. If you're gonna look at long-term time frames up here and you know, how we are doing up here, it doesn't look that bad, though. It doesn't look that bad. You're correct up here. There is one line up here that might actually indicate support, and that's this one. I don't know if people saw this, but you know, we came to some kind of top up here, and then we have this line up here, and then we bounced off the side, right? So right now we are retesting that line. I mean, this is a crappy line because you know, we're just trying to find whatever suits our, you know, needs. So no, it's a crappy line. It's a crappy line. Don't look at that line anymore, guys. It's not the line. It's not the line. But if you zoom in a little bit up here, there might be a line up here from the tops and the bottoms up here, and you can see also that right now we are holding the support level, which is very, very nice. Which is very nice. That's why I saw this other line up here at the top. Over here somewhere, right? Because it's confirmed something somewhere, right? But if you just look at it, because you can understand these tops up here are important, but these bottoms up here are important. All the pivot points are always important. Doesn't matter where these pivot points comes. These pivot points are important. Wherever the price pivots, those are important points where you should be putting your lines, right? Like, and even though you can put lines somewhere up here and some kind of mid lines up here, you know, where it zigzags above these pivot points, you know, might be important, but these pivot points, very, very important level of support. And right now we are on that level of support. So, you know, we came down up here again through back and right back up again. Well, my channel versus that indicator. Yeah, indicator is okay. Anyways, guys, I think you know, I think we might be going a little bit more sideways during the day. Today is Sunday, so the volatility might always hit in during the latest hours of the Sunday before the actually Monday. Enjoy it on Binance. This line on Binance. No, it still fits. Now, if you use this line up here, then we are below it or above it. Depends which line you use, right? How much respect do you get on the lines, right? Let's use 1 hourly time frame up here. See if we can get some kind of better wicks up here. But this is the pivot point, right? But then if you look at it, I mean, there are a bunch of lines that are actually we just cherry picking right now. I mean channels. Which channels? I forgot, because the chat is a little bit laggy. So by the time you say something and by the time I see it, you know, I've already drawn like 5 other things. 5 other things, but doesn't matter. We've been streaming for right now 48 minutes, so I need to go and take a piss. But guys, important thing to note is, you know, we could be on the support. We could be on the support, but we could also be below the support, right? I think this is important distinction. Also, the very important line up here, got something like this over here, I think, that we broke up here. It is also important that we already broke the downtrend. So I think that this move up here already broke towards downside. The thing to understand is that once you break, you know, the trend towards, and you're going a little bit more towards downside, doesn't mean that this is going to go to zero. It means it's looking for support levels, right? And these horizontal support levels, just like we drew a little bit earlier, and I still stand by my case, these support levels down here are hugely important levels right now. And these are right now, right up here, between 21.6 to 21.8, and I think this yellow box up here is very, very important as support. Now we didn't come even close to that, but right now I think we might actually, you know, extend below that, even outside of the channel up here, and then go towards the upside. And the reason for that is because there is a lot of, you know, liquidity just below here. There's a lot of liquidity just below. There is also a lot of liquidity. There is two liquidity levels over here, this one and this one right now. Whether they're gonna go down and pick both levels and then go down a little bit down to some kind of 17, 18k and then, you know, push it back towards the upside, how this actually play out. But I do know that if you start breaking these levels up here, it might actually increase the speed towards the downside. We might have some kind of overextension and then move towards the upside. Hopefully this is enough and we just bounce over here from the support levels, never hitting the support. That could also be the case. But these are the support levels. These are important support lines, and this is a channel, I think. Doesn't matter, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna draw the channels again in the Telegram. Doesn't matter. Guys, thank you for stopping by. This was Bitcoin Daily, 9 a.m. Central P time on the dollar. We do show every day Monday to Friday because we gotta know what's happening in Bitcoin markets. Tomorrow we're gonna do another one. Tomorrow is Monday. It's gonna be very exciting because we got a weekly close. We got a daily close. We got a 2-day close. We're gonna see if these, you know, morning doji star pattern is gonna play out. You know, so it's getting interesting. Like right now, it is a lot like, you know, what's gonna happen next. It's kind of sketchy. At least when it comes to Bitcoin, it's kind of sketchy. So, you know, the next move is a little bit undecisive, I think, because you know, some kind of support, may not support. You don't have overextensions. You don't have any kind of, you know, it's just consolidation and consolidation, but it's consolidation, very short-term consolidation. So you cannot actually make up your mind just yet. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye-bye. We could be on the we could be on the